Hey Facebook world, welcome to Bridging the Gap with Applied Software. This is our Facebook Live series where we bring you industry experts from the AEC and the manufacturing worlds. You will learn some cool new industry trends, some tips and tricks, and be able to get your questions answered right here. I'm your host, Todd Weyandt. I'm Director of Marketing here at Applied Software. Feel free to interact with us throughout this video by liking the video or placing a question in the comment section, and we'll address those a little bit later on. For today's show, we are joined by our very own Ken Wilson. He is our National Account Advisor for our Fabrication Solutions. Welcome, Ken.
Hey, what's happening, Todd?
Nothing much. We're excited to get into this interview. Can you describe a little bit of your background in more detail?
Sure. I've been in the Autodesk channel for about 20 years now. It's a long time. I've worked in manufacturing for about 10 years. I was in the video game industry for a few. And now I've been in construction for several years, visiting, hundreds of mechanical subcontractors around the country.
Nice. So why do a majority of the MEP firms in the industry use the Autodesk fabrication products?
Well, what I'm finding is companies have to start looking at these solutions in more of a holistic manner, how it impacts each department downstream, not just point products. So when I get on the phone with a detailing department and ask them what their team uses for estimating, and then they say they don't know or they don't care, that to me is a big red flag that they need help or there's some type of internal cultural issue going on, and that needs to be addressed first and foremost. I think I heard it best described from an owner of a mid-sized MEP firm who was investigating alternative software packages because he was actually using 3 different softwares. He said he wanted to be able to enter the data once and then use it throughout. And that best describes the advantages the Autodesk products have over the others, is companies can get a Revit model from their client. They can bring that model into the estimating program. After they win the bid, they can volley that same 3D model over to the detailing department to spool it out, and then they can send that over to Camduct to cut on the plasma, all from that same model. So, why have several disparate systems when you have to enter the data multiple times when you can really just start leveraging that same one model and that same one database throughout the entire process? I mean, it's a huge time saver and less error prone, and that's why a lot of companies have gone to the Autodesk workflows. Gotcha.
Yeah, makes sense. So as you described, Autodesk Fab, CAD, MEP, and SMEP, they're pretty powerful solutions, but they seem to usually require some significant time investment to get up and running. What can a fabricator do to get up and running even quicker and unleash the full potential of this solution?
Yeah, bottom line is just never skimp on training and support. I mean, that should be your company's biggest investment. I mean, in your people being able to learn the software. Otherwise, you're just throwing money away. And I've seen it too many times in my early days of companies trying to buy software, do free trials without any training, and it almost always fails. So make sure your entire team has bought into it, and also invest in our value pack content database that we developed years ago, because this is going to save months of ramp-up time, because it comes with a majority of the content and items the company's teams will need to detail and spool and even estimate, versus the out-of-the-box content that really doesn't give you all that with the fabrication products.
Gotcha. So our Applied Software Fab Value Pack, it actually has a special partnership with SMACNA and MCA. Can you walk me through what that means and the benefit of that?
Sure. When I started 6 years ago, I'd call into companies and estimators and say, hey, are you using Autodesk SMEP? And they'd be like, well, we have it, but it's sitting on the shelf collecting dust. So about 6 years ago, our fabrication team saw a need for a better content and services database for the subs who use the Autodesk fabrication products. So basically, we took the bull by the horns and spent time cleaning up the out-of-the-box content, making it design line ready, and then we even signed licensing agreements with SMACNA and MCAA to incorporate their pricing and labor tables into our value pack, which saved companies months of ramp-up time, because they had to manually go in and enter all that information in themselves. So that's extremely helpful, like I said, if you're using the SMEP estimating software from Autodesk, because that info is already pre-populated and ready to roll.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a huge time saver then.
Big time. Yep.
Very cool. Well, if you're just joining us, this is Bridging the Gap. It's our Facebook Live series. Right now we're talking with Ken Wilson. He's our National Account Advisor for Fabrication Solutions. And we're just walking through some fabrication trends that we're seeing right now. And specifically, we're talking about a product called the Fabrication Value Pack. So, Ken, how does this differ from other options that are out there?
Yeah, let me preface by saying this is not a bash at all on any other third-party fabrication content providers. But for one, our fabrication team has been using the products for a long time. They come from the industry, so they know what's out there for content, and it's pretty slim pickings. I mean, what makes ours different is the fact that our value pack content is actually unlocked and editable. You can add to it, you can make changes to it, unlike others who are pretty much locked down. Now, we know it's probably not going to have every item you need for content, but our goal was to create something that gave the MEP community access to about 80% of what they needed out the gates. And if they needed to add to it, we can either teach them how to create their own content, or we have a partner who can actually create content and services for them. And, as mentioned earlier, it already comes preloaded with the SMACNA, MCAA, Harrison pricing, labor tables for a fairly low price compared to if you tried to create your own content from scratch. So if you're interested in it, what I typically tell people to do is we can send you a list of the content and services that it comes with. We can even do a one-on-one demo to show you the advantages versus what you're using now. So either of those ways is fine.
Nice. And if you want a little bit more information about that, feel free to interact with us through the comment section. You can submit any requests out there that you want, or you can also go to asti.com/fabrication and you can find information there as well. So Ken, one of the big trends in the industry is the move that's currently underfoot for fabricators to start using Revit. I know that there's some anxiety around this since traditionally, Revit hasn't really been built around the fab workflow. Can you explain this migration in a little bit more detail and kind of the anxiety there?
Yeah, I think we all have anxiety on this one. I mean, Autodesk has been saying this for a very, very long time, as you know, and a lot of companies have basically resisted. But like I've told many of the subs that I walk into, you better hold on to your seats because the tsunami is a-coming. I mean, it's truly starting to happen. And for those who have started to dip their toes into Revit and have been starting to embrace it, they're going to be best positioned to make that transition and be successful with it because it is happening. I mean, you've seen it in version 2018. And for those who are still resisting, unfortunately, they're going to be playing catch-up, which could mean having internal cultural challenges and with the possibility of losing business to those early adopters. So
yeah,
it's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's for sure. So in this Revit for Fab move, there are some holes in the out-of-the-box workflow. How does Applied Software kind of step in and bridge the gap, so to speak?
Yeah, so Applied Software is very well positioned to lead this Revit to Fab transition since we speak with Autodesk product development a few times a month. So we know what's going on. And years ago, we knew this was happening, so we even developed some classes around these two products. We've got the Revit MEP class and Fabrication CAD MEP class. And we know that these two products are coming together more seamlessly. So we have a few classes that would be beneficial. We've got the Revit for Fabrication class. And like I said, if companies aren't prepared right now in Revit and they've just been using it as a high-end translator to bring models into fabrication, we've got those classes as well. And most companies don't have a working knowledge of Revit. So in these cases, you've got options. We can customize a class specific to how your team's going to be using the software to do your jobs. And we can even use a project you're working on or take one of our many other online interactive classes.
Gotcha. Okay, nice. So this is a really big undertaking for any fab shop to go through. And I imagine it's not something that is as simple as, just getting Revit and wipe your hands and you're all done. So where can people go for resources to help guide them through this workflow change? And what does that really look like?
Yeah, that's right, Todd. I mean, this is not like AutoCAD where you just buy it and then load it and then you're on your way and you go to a local college to take classes. I mean, to start, I think the best thing to do is to call us. I mean, Autodesk has ranked Applied Software the number one supporting reseller in North America, dedicated to construction and fabrication. And, you know, of 100 employees, I mean, our team comes from the industry. We've seen what works, we've seen what doesn't work, and then we also cover the entire BIM process from design to fab to field. So another thing I tell people to do is join peer groups, talk to our clients. We'd be happy to have you hear it from them versus just hearing it from us and not just a salesperson. So, and another thing too, Todd, you were bringing this up. I mean, our website comes with a plethora of videos, success stories. You can attend some of our free webinars and learn from that. You can easily join those by signing up on our website. Just be careful because there are a lot of companies who can sell the Autodesk fabrication products out there. But sadly enough, that does not mean that they know how to actually train them and support them. These are very specialized products, and you need a team backing you up who knows what they're doing, and we've got that team.
Awesome. Well, if you're just joining us, this is our show called Bridging the Gap with Applied Software. Thanks for watching us. We'd love for you to interact with us by liking this video, or you can submit any questions in the comment pane, and we'll address those a little bit later. We're joined right now by Ken Wilson. He's our National Account Advisor for the Fabrication Solutions. So Ken, we walked through a lot on the CAD MEP and the SMEP side, but the third product of the fabrication is the CAM duct side. So you can actually configure CAM duct with your NC equipment, to my understanding. Traditionally, machine configuration for CAM duct requires an expert on site. However, I believe that Applied Software has developed a process to handle this a little bit differently to get people up and running a little quicker. Can you speak to what this is?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? You can actually configure a machine tool sitting on a go-to meeting or a Skype call like this. Isn't that nuts? And you know, cool. 98% of our machine tool hookups are done remotely. So, you know, like I said in my previous response, I mean, they're very specialized products, especially CAM duct. And there are not too many people who knew how to hook up CAM duct to make it work with your equipment. So, let alone know how to make that happen online. So, to save companies money on travel, we started offering this online remote machine tool configuration setup where Garrett Types, who's on our team, and he's actually one of the top CAM duct techs in the entire world, he can actually get you communicating with your machine a lot more quickly versus waiting and scheduling. So we have a client fill out a machine tool form, they schedule a date with Garrett, and then make it happen. So this is a huge benefit for our clients that others really don't offer. So.
Wow, very cool. Well, thanks so much for all this great information, Ken. I'm going to give you a little bit for kind of your closing arguments. Why should someone go with Applied Software for fabrication?
Bottom line is support. I mean, our team is the best in the industry. You call around, you ask our clients, you ask Autodesk. We've got the best people in the industry who support these products. We're leading the way with Revit for fabrication by creating custom apps, training, consulting services to help you be successful during this transition. Autodesk actually had us write all the course books for fabrication. We created all the YouTube training videos. We offer both online and custom training. We provide blocks of tech time to help hold your hands throughout the launch when you ramp up. And no other Autodesk reseller is better positioned to support your team's entire BIM workflow process from design to fab to field like Applied Software is. I truly believe that.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much again, Ken. We really appreciate all the information and the insight that you have given us today.
You got it, Todd. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to you as well. And thank you so much, Facebook World, for joining us today on Bridging the Gap with Applied Software. If you're interested in learning more about fabrication or any of our other products or services, you can go to asti.com/fabrication. That link will be posted in our comment section as well, so you can just have an easy click and go right to our website there. So please join us in a couple weeks for our next episode. And until next time, I'm Todd Weyandt, thanking you for joining us on Bridging the Gap. Have a good day, everybody.